Hello and welcome to the NFL Update, Week 5. Before I get into anything that happened this week, here are my top 5 offensive and defensive plays of the week. To start off the week, we had the Indianapolis Colts take on the Houston Texans. Matt Hasselbeck, despite the fact that he was sick all week and the fact that he's 40 years old, has played great the last 2 weeks. This week was another great game for Hasselbeck, where he led the Indianapolis Colts for a win. Hasselbeck's been playing more consistent quarterback than Andrew Luck has. One of the main struggles for the Houston Texans this week was their quarterback situation. They still haven't been able to find a consistent quarterback in Ryan Mallett or Brian Hoyer. Ryan Mallett started the game for the Houston Texans but was unable to finish as he was injured. Mallett seemed okay, but Bill O'Brien refused to let him back in and let Brian Hoyer finish the game. Hoyer actually looked alright till the end of the game where he threw a pick that sealed the win for the Colts. Both Ryan Mallett and Brian Hoyer are not the answer for Houston, and they're going to have a rough season flip-flopping through quarterbacks. I just feel really bad for Bill O'Brien. Luckily, I don't have to make the decision on which garbage quarterback I have to start. While the Philadelphia Eagles finally resemble what the Philadelphia Eagles were supposed to look like coming into this season, the Eagles' offense had a total of 500 yards. That's the most the Eagles had all season. Well, Drew Brees is 1,000 years old and he just can't do it anymore. The New Orleans Saints again was stomped. This is just another loss for the New Orleans Saints. If the New Orleans Saints keep playing like this, there's a good chance they'll hear with the first pick in the 2016 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select. One of the more exciting games of the week was the Seattle Seahawks when they headed to the jungle to play the Cincinnati Bengals. The Seahawks for most of the game had firm control, and it looked like they were going to finally snap the Bengals' winning streak. In the fourth quarter, Andy Dalton gathered the troops and led them down for a few touchdowns to get close to the win. Then in the fourth quarter, with only a few seconds left, Andy Dalton was moving out of the pocket and he was hit from behind. There was no timeouts. The clock was ticking. They needed overtime. The kicker ran out there, 7, 6, 5. He nailed a field goal right down the middle to force overtime. And when overtime hit, the Seattle Seahawks tried their best to do something on offense. They had to kick it back to the Cincinnati Bengals. And Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, he got his team in field goal range to kick the game-winning field goal. The kicker lines up, he kicks, and it hits the upright, but it's good. The Cincinnati Bengals just eke a win at the last second. Congratulations, Cincy. You just beat the team that was in the Super Bowl last year. The Cincinnati Bengals are 5-0. And another exciting overtime game was the Atlanta Falcons and the Washington Redskins, the RG3-less Washington Redskins. That's right, Kirk Cousins has been the starter for a couple of weeks now, and Kirk Cousins is playing good. He didn't play good enough to get the win, but he sure fought for it. He was able to move down the field where they kicked a field goal to force overtime. Kirk Cousins is moving down the field. He wants to end it. He wants to win in the Georgia Dome. He's looking, and he throws it, it's picked off, and it was taken back for an Atlanta Falcons touchdown. Kirk Cousins tried his best, but he just couldn't face that Falcons defense. And with that win, that moves the Atlanta Falcons to 5-0. Two division rivals faced off this week, Josh McCown and Joe Flacco, and God, the Ravens look awful. They keep finding ways to lose, which is funny because I said that about the Browns last week, but this week, the Browns wanted to win, and Josh McCown is looking like a real quarterback. Despite the loss last week, Josh McCown played good, and this week, Josh McCown played better. He outplayed Joe Flacco, and McCown got the win for the Cleveland Browns, which is something the Brown fans don't hear often. Joe Flacco and the Ravens are a mess. They started the season off awful, and they haven't gotten any better. It doesn't help that Steve Smith isn't out there. It doesn't help that he has no other weapons, and it doesn't help that their defense is non-existent. Ever since the Dallas Cowboys lost Tony Romo, they haven't been able to win. Brandon Weeden can't win a game for them, especially when they're going up against Tom Brady. Tom Brady was suspended for the first 4 games. He got the appeal, he won it eventually, and ever since he's been back, Brady has been tearing it up. Brady's been playing the best football he's ever played in his life. It isn't fair for defenses that have to go up against Tom Brady. He might not be mobile in the pocket like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, but he can dissect you with that big arm. On Sunday Night Football, it was the New York Giants versus the San Francisco 49ers. Colin Kaepernick has not been doing well. He struggled again in this game. He seemed to get his footing, but not as well as Eli Manning. In the fourth quarter, with only a few seconds left, 34 to be exact, Eli was rolling out of the pocket and he threw it to Larry Darnell. Who is that? Most people only know who Odell Beckham is, and injury-prone Victor Cruz. But Larry Darnell was there for Eli, coming with the big clutch fourth quarter touchdown to put away the San Francisco 49ers. Jim Harbaugh is somewhere in Michigan just laughing his ass off at the San Francisco 49ers right now. Ever since he left, they've been a train wreck. And he loves that. And the final game of the week had to be the most exciting. Ben Roethlisberger-less Steelers versus Phillip Rivers. You know what that means? It's Michael Vick versus Phillip Rivers. And it was a great game, but really you might as well have called it Le'Veon Bell versus Phillip Rivers, because Le'Veon Bell is a badass. Antonio Gates came back from his suspension this week and rejoined Phillip Rivers, and he rejoined the San Diego end zone, where he got 2 touchdowns to now put him second place in all-time touchdown records by a tight end with 101. Phillip Rivers' second touchdown throw was to Antonio Gates to bring the lead to 17-10. You would have thought the way Michael Vick was playing, it could have been over. But Michael Vick just throws it, slings it down the field to tie up the game with a long touchdown, 17-17. Could this game go to overtime? Maybe, but first the Chargers have to go on offense. Phillip Rivers moves the team down the field, but they cannot get in the end zone. But that's okay, because the young kicker Josh Lambo nails it right down the middle to make it 20-17. And it's all on Michael Vick here. It's up to Vick, or that's what you would have thought. But Michael Vick leads the team into the red zone, and with 5 seconds left on the 1-yard line, what do? You hand it off to Le'Veon Bell. I told you he was a badass. And with 5 seconds left in the Wildcat formation, Le'Veon Bell just a little bit, and he gets in the end zone for the touchdown with no time remaining. The Pittsburgh Steelers were saved by the bell. Well, that's it for this week. Remember to like this video and subscribe. I'm the Jets fan, signing off.